Today we end the season of Epiphany, the season of light. And we hear a lot about light today. Light as the embodiment or dwelling of God, light as the true form of Christ, and light that will sustain us and carry us forward through Lent. We are given the gift of light today to both carry us through Lent and to allow us to see the light that is to come in the resurrection. But light is interesting in that it can both help us to see and blind us. This can happen in different ways. When we walk into a dark room, we can turn on the lights and see the room or area is now visible to us. Conversely, when we are asleep or at other times when our eyes are adjusted to the dark and someone turns on a light, we can't see. Or a camera flash or a flash of lightning, any bright light that abruptly pulls us out of whatever place we're in can temporarily blind us. We don't want to be pulled out. We don't ask for it. We're calm and settled. We're comfortable. Then all of a sudden our whole world changes as we are confronted by the light. We are pulled out of our comfortable place and we can't see a thing. What happens next? What are we to do? Well, sometimes we just stand there and we blink long enough until our eyes adjust to the light and we're fine. Everything is fine. We go on with whatever we were doing. But sometimes in the midst of that bright light, in the midst of our outward blindness, we have a glimpse into our true reality. We have a sudden inner clarity that allows us to see things as they really are and to know that we are being called to a higher purpose, to a greater good. Being jolted out of our comfort zone forces us to focus on what is important in life, leave behind what is not. Focus on what is real, leave behind what is not. Focus on what is good. Leave behind that which works against the good. In this capacity, it can be a good thing. It can be a conversion experience, a conversion to our true self, to what God created us to be, and to what Jesus calls us to be. But there's always another side. When people willingly force others out of their comfort zone, it can create chaos. And we have seen that recently in places in our own country where we may have been people have been pulled out of their comfort zones. Many have been subjected to what is not working toward the good. In these times, we cannot be blinded by what we see, but allow the light, the good, the fullness of God and of Christ, which we hear about today. Allow that to wash over us and to call us to do the work of Christ in this world. And I'm sure we've all heard of conversion stories or conversion experiences from other people and perhaps maybe your own. A pretty famous one is that of Saul of Tarsus, later known to us as Paul. Remember how it goes. Saul is riding his horse on the way to Damascus, and a bright light strikes him down off his horse, literally throws him to the ground. And a voice calls out, "Saul, why have you forsaken me?" Paul is blinded and told to go into the village and to wait for the Lord. And the Lord sends Ananias to lay hands on him and to restore his sight so that he might go and be an apostle to the Gentiles. Paul goes on to do great things for the Lord and is not shy about telling you how comfortable he was persecuting the church, condemning those who claim Christ until he was confronted by Christ himself. In that moment, in that light, he saw light, the true light revealed to him. We are fascinated with light. There is something both mesmerizing and magical about it. Sunlight, starlight, moonlight, candlelight, firelight, all draw us in. And we love to stare at it. We stare at the fire, and we would probably stare at the sun if we thought we could get away with it. We are fascinated with light. And think about it. If you are walking and you come to a fork in the road and one way goes off into complete darkness and the other way goes off into a warm, glowing light, you are going to choose the light. But why? Why then, in the choices we make in our lives, do we not see it that clearly? Why do we sometimes choose the dark? Why do we allow dark things to happen? Are we afraid of the light? Are we afraid of the truth the light might reveal? Perhaps we are. The light came into the world so that we might see God manifested in the person of Jesus, see ourselves as children of God, called to a greater good, see the needs of others and how we might respond to them. This season of Epiphany, this season of light does just that. It reveals the truth of Jesus by shining a light so that we might be able to see, a light that might at first blind us, but through faith and trust in God, allows us to see Christ in his true nature, his true glory. We share in that moment today with the disciples as three of them witness this very glory as Christ is transfigured before their eyes, his true nature revealed in light. As is always the case on this Sunday, the last Sunday of Epiphany, we hear the story of the Transfiguration. But we also always hear over the 3-year cycle stories of Moses or Elijah. They ascend in some way to be in the presence of God. Moses goes up the mountain and is covered by a cloud, and we are told the presence of God was like a devouring fire, a light so intense it can burn and blind. Moses goes into that light so that the truth might be revealed to him. The truth in this case, in the form of the commandments, the law. That's the story we heard today. In other years, we hear the story of Elijah, of him being taken up to heaven on a chariot of fire, borne up to God on light that reveals the truth. The truth here being the words of truth spoken of the prophets and pointing to the Messiah, to Christ. The other story of Moses has him coming down from the mountain, and his face shines so brightly that he has to veil it so not to hurt the eyes of the Israelites. His face shines with light reflected from the true light given to him by God. Jesus comes into this world to be the light that leads us into all truth. Jesus comes into this world to be the light that allows us to see who he is first, and through him, who we are as his children. And in seeing who we are, we see those around us and begin to recognize their needs. In short, we learn the two great commandments, to love God and to love our neighbors as ourselves. And in order to love our neighbors as ourselves, we must love ourselves, care about ourselves, know ourselves so that we can then love our neighbor. We cannot truly love others if we don't love ourselves. That's what the light comes to reveal to us, to help us to see who we are, to love God, to love ourselves, and to love our neighbor. And we love ourselves not in a prideful way, not in a boastful way, not in a way that puts us above others, but in a way that reveals the nature of Christ. We love as Christ loves us. Jesus ascends the mountain days after Peter has confessed him to be the Messiah, the Christ, the one spoken of by the prophets. They go up the mountain, and there Christ is transfigured. His light shines brightly, and the disciples there see him as he truly is, and in doing so begin to see who they are as well. It will take some time, though, for them to truly understand the significance of that event. Just like us, we can point to those moments that made a difference in our lives, but we also know the significance of that moment was most likely not immediate. Seeds take time to grow, but they must first be planted. While on the mountain, the disciples see Jesus with Moses and Elijah, the other two figures who are prominent on this day. They represent the law and the prophets, and Jesus is the bridge between the two. In that light, we see the truth revealed, that Jesus comes to transcend the law and to fulfill the prophets. Imagine how we would react in this situation, how we might have felt if we were Peter or James or John in this moment. Peter shows us just how blinded he is by the light as he suggests that they stay there and build 3 booths, 3 houses for Jesus and Moses and Elijah. And Jesus says, no, we must move forward. And they go down the mountain, and Jesus tells them not to tell anyone about this because the people are not ready, and the disciples are certainly not ready. Jesus' point is that they can't stay there in that moment. No one can. We all have moments we relish, moments we would love to live over, but we can't stay there, for if we do, we don't grow. We don't allow others to grow. We become stagnant in our faith. We must take what happens in that moment and move on, working for the building up of the church. We can't put God or the law or the prophets in a box, a booth, or whatever you want to call it, because they are living things. We cannot hope to contain them, but to let them live so that we might learn from them and live ourselves. Light is the same way. We cannot contain it, for it will find the tiniest opening, the smallest crack, and it will shine through. Light reveals light. Light reveals truth. It always finds a way to break through the darkness. Through attempts of deceit and cover, nothing can completely contain it. But why try to contain it? Be open to the light, open to the truth. Revel in the beauty of who we are as children of God and who we are called to be through Christ. What are we afraid of? Is it just that we don't want to be uncomfortable? The truth may be uncomfortable, but that momentary discomfort is much better than a lifetime of misery, a lifetime of hiding in the dark, a lifetime of fighting. Jesus goes up the mountain and is transfigured before us so that we might begin to move past our temporary blindness and live into the light. Jesus calls us and asks us, what are you waiting for? Come into my presence. Come into my light. Let the truth be revealed, no matter how uncomfortable it is, so that we might learn to love fully, might learn to reach out in love and concern for others, might learn to forgive and be healed. The world, in many ways, is uncomfortable right now. There is war, there is oppression, there is fear of losing power, fear of others, fear sometimes created by us. Many hide in the dark. They do not want to come to the light so the truth might be revealed. But without the truth, they cannot be helped, and healing cannot happen. We are the same. Without the truth, we cannot help ourselves, and we certainly cannot help others. What are you passionate about? What fuels your fire for doing good? What drives you to move into the light and to share that light with others? Without knowing the truth, without the light to reveal the truth, we can do nothing. Jesus' passion is us, his people, and we are about to enter into Lent and the time of Jesus walking slowly to the cross and to his death, so he can show us just how much he loves us. We are his passion as he dies for us so that our sins might be forgiven. What is your passion? What are you willing to risk everything for so that the truth can be revealed and healing can begin? Where are you willing to fight for what is right so that every child of God can feel loved and be welcomed and know that they are counted among the faithful? I invite you to take this light of Christ, this light of love and truth with you into Lent. Take the light into the depths to which you will descend in your Lenten journey. Take this light with you to reveal a truth and to find your passion. Take this light so that you might be a beacon of hope for yourself and for others, a beacon for all to see that Christ might be revealed to the world. There is a moment when we all become blind, Sometimes because we don't see. Sometimes because we choose not to see. But we must not allow that blindness to remain. We must adjust to the light, to the truth revealed in that light, and respond. Jesus' passion is our salvation. What is yours? Will you come into the light?